Some people leave Long Island and never come back, and others think they're leaving for a few years and end up right back here. But here's what I've been noticing. People leave with a plan, and then life changes that plan. So what do you do with your house if you're not 100% sure how that's going to play out? I've been seeing this more and more lately. People are leaving Long Island for all different reasons: jobs, medical, lifestyle changes, and almost every time there's some version of a plan. Sometimes it's, this is it, we're done, we're starting fresh somewhere else. Other times it's, we'll go for a few years and then decide. But here's the part that doesn't always get enough thought. Those plans don't always stay the same. I've had clients who were completely sure they were leaving for good and ended up coming back. In one case, it was medical. They felt like the level of care they needed was here. In another, they already had relationships with their doctors here and wanted to continue treatment with the people that they trusted. And I've also seen situations where people moved thinking family would follow, and it just didn't work out that way. And when that happens, it can change everything. And then I've seen the opposite. People who thought this was temporary and life moved forward, things settled, and they never came back. So the real question becomes, what do you do with your house here while all of this is unfolding? Because that decision can either give you options or make things a lot harder later. A lot of people immediately think, well, just keep it and rent it out. And that can be a great option, but you have to go into that understanding you're becoming a landlord, and not just a landlord, an absentee landlord. Who's managing the property? A property manager, an agent, a family member? Who's handling repairs when something breaks? And something really important here on Long Island, this isn't like some other states where if a tenant doesn't pay, the process is quick. Here, everything takes longer. Now, most tenants are wonderful. I want to be clear about that. But I have seen some situations where people were in a home for years without paying. That's not the norm, but it is a possibility you need to be prepared for. And then there's the other side of it. What are you doing where you're going? Are you renting there, buying there, planning on coming back part-time? Because if you keep your home here, is it truly an investment, or is it something you want access to down the road? And there's another piece people don't always think about. What are you doing with everything in your house? Are you taking it all with you? Because moving out of state can get expensive really fast. Or you're moving into something furnished and leaving everything behind. If you do that, what happens if you come back? Now you're not just finding a home again, you're potentially starting over again. That can be fine, but it's something you want to think about before you make the move, not after. So, if you're in that position where you're leaving, but you're not completely sure what the future looks like, that decision isn't just about what makes sense right now. It's about what gives you the most flexibility later, because once you let go of a house here, it's not always easy to get back in the same way. And if you're heading out of state, I do have a video that I made about finding an agent out of state. I'll link that video below, just so you're not guessing when you land somewhere new. This really comes down to being honest with yourself, not just about what you hope is going to happen, but what might realistically change along the way. Because I've seen both sides of this, and the people who think through that part ahead of time usually end up in a much better position. I'd actually love to hear this. If you left Long Island, did things go the way you thought they would? Or did something change that brought you back? Let me know in the comments. I'm Karen Roth from RE/MAX Integrity Leaders. I'll see you soon.